I went home and washed the day's sweat off in the shower. Normally, I could reset everything by taking a shower and forgetting all the bad things, but that didn't happen today. I got out of the shower to find fresh underwear placed neatly in the laundry basket. Normally, I didn't think to stop about it, but today I felt happy in my mother's consideration. It's the small things. At the same time, however, made me realize how much Sadako must be suffering. The very moment I was appreciating this gentle kindness, Sadako might be being abused, like being bruised by her uncle's cruel words. I went up to the second floor, shut myself in my bedroom. Then, facing my desk, I folded my arms. My topic of thought was, of course, Sadako. We thought that if we could just get a public agency to intervene the right way, the problem would be solved. It's another thing trying to prove that outright, though. Just the whole, whole rest of this chapter is all probably just gonna be focusing on that then. Just, finding a way out of it, and it's an ominous way how this is, the transition to this part of the game is definitely not helping matters in any way, shape, or form. Oh boy. But it's definitely just gonna be, it's gonna be hard no matter what, anyway. Even this kind of thing. Realistically or systematically. But with what Coach said, I didn't think it would be so easy. You either do tactical espionage. Sadako was obstinate, and she would stubbornly deny the abuse, and try to endure it. You know, I didn't think about it at the time, but, we're just making a few assumptions on how she thinks, honestly. It maybe could align with her, but, it does sort of fit with, what she said before, but, it still feels assumptionary. And that was an act of atonement towards Satoshi, who protected her before and then ran away. As long as she thought that way, the situation wouldn't be so simple. Oh god, just not one line alone. Are we gonna try to convince Sadako, that Satoshi is just dead? Oh god, no. But earlier, before Coach, I made a clear declaration. If I thought Sadako was in danger, then I would do what I had to do. In the end, that meant I was just going to wait and see too. Nevertheless, I thought I'd drawn a clearer line than Coach or my friends had. If the time came, I would report it. Over the phone. Given Sadako's personality, she might criticize me if she found out. But I believed it was ultimately the best decision. Wait, Keiichi Maebara. Would that really be all it took for the problem to end? No, because then focusing on, the aftermath of that if, your plan actually did succeed. Say they reported to a public agency, like the Child Consultation Center. What if they stuck to their wait-and-see attitude like last year again? Last year, they decided to do just that, and the situation improved temporarily, but then the aunt, thinking herself a laughingstock, increased her tormenting in secret. In the end, things became more underhanded than ever before. This year, it was her uncle. I had just seen him for the first time today. The man seemed much more direct, much more violent than the word underhanded could imply. He wasn't like their aunt. No, not that subtle. He was more direct. He might also assault her with punches and kicks. Yeah, there were bruises on her, when Sadako, saw Keiichi, so. That could easily be discerned from the bruises such I saw on Sadako's body. Okay, please don't read my thoughts right now, okay, please? Shit. You're too naive, Keiichi Maebara. However heroic it may seem to report what's happening, if it doesn't save her, then it doesn't mean anything. Reporting things to a public agency was only one option, and leaving everything to them would be dangerous here. We would need something more to guarantee Sadako's safety. I scratched madly in my head, thinking, then tilted it back, wanting at least a little bit of calm. It's mostly just trying to find a way of actually to convince her of, what Coach said was, true. The memories of angry arguing with my friends today came to mind. I was embarrassed I hadn't realized until Reina said something. She was right. My house is big. Oh, you're actually considering the option then. Compared to all the houses with the straw thatched roofs in Hinamizawa, it was really big. We did actually have empty rooms. Are you gonna bring this up to your parents then? Are you actually gonna bring up the problem that's happening currently in town right now? Never thought that we were affluent, but also never thought that we were poor. Middle of the road then. I just didn't admit it because people would think I was arrogant. But maybe my family really is wealthy. I was gonna make a joke about people really like your dad's art. It does pay well apparently. So I can believe that. We had a few rooms we could lend to Sadako. The guest rooms are only in use when people related to my dad's job come and stay every once in a while. Plus, if we cleaned up a few of the rooms my dad used for storage, they could work for her as well. As for food expenses, that might have been a more serious problem than a kid like me can imagine. Yeah, like both of my clothes, like just raising another like kid as well at the same time. Food expenses, just textbooks, stuff like that for like later on, supplies, etc., etc. Lunch every day would be manageable. All our friends would just have to bring a little bit more for lunch than they usually did. Yeah, with everyone pecking at everyone else's food anyway, it would be manageable. Actually thinking about it right now, how does exactly Rika and Sadako, I guess, get money? Like, just get food, buy at like the convenience stores and such. Like, do the adults give Rika allowances or spoil her a bit because they all revere her? What about Sadako in that case then? Just curious about that. With everyone pecking at everyone's food out anyway, it would be manageable. For breakfast and dinner, though, that would have to be up to Mom. I would need to convince her to lend Sadako more than just a room. Of course, I don't think convincing her of that would be easy. About how much did it cost for one person to eat? Oh boy, you're gonna ask her about that. How many tens of thousands of yen per month? They couldn't complain about it if I showed her that, could they? Oh, are you gonna try? Oh gosh, well, I was gonna say are you gonna get a part-time job, but that's not allowed for Japanese schools and all that, and only Mion can get away with that. And unless they increase her allowance or anything like that, then she doesn't get paid for what she does to her family at all. I only had 10 or 20,000 yen in savings, but it was something. I actually had even more, thanks to New Year's gifts and such, but my parents had taken all of that and put into a fixed time deposit. If I could get access to that, it should add up to a lot of money. And if I got that far, I should ask Mion and Reina to share some of the burden. Of course, I wouldn't depend on that. Reina got mad at me, didn't she? About how I shouldn't just shove responsibility onto others. Yeah. I had to ask for help then. Even so, I'd basically be saving her myself. I would fall through on it. But it wouldn't be only food expenses then, would it? There were a lot of other things that you couldn't do without, like baths and laundry. My mother was awfully methodical and strict about cutting out inefficiencies, and for once that was troublesome. She might even make reference to the money it would cost the detergent Sadako would use for her own clothes. Yeah, well, we barely got any, I guess, opportunities to see how your parents get, I guess, characterized, so, yeah, I don't know how they would respond to any of this at all right now. I couldn't think only about food expenses. I needed more money. If you're gonna try to get a part-time job, does that mean to do a secret, or, literally just taking upon someone else's burden and just ruining your own life in a way? Hey, wait, Keiichi Maebara, since when was all this about money? Even if you could afford it, you need your parents' permission first. You've been looking after a young girl for a really long time. What would I say to persuade them? Just calm down a little bit, Keiichi Maebara. It was right away that you can't. Even if you ask them seriously, they would tell you to call the police. Yeah. Oh god, the whole rest of the chapter is going to be this heavy. God damn it. Even if you manage to gain their empathy, why should the Maebara family have to shoulder all the burden by itself? That's what would happen. That was it. It was very sad and frustrating, but no matter how much I wanted to help, my resolution alone couldn't save anything. Are kids... are they really this powerless? I felt frustrated. I believe my feelings are stronger than anyone else's. I even thought they were stronger than Coach's. And yet... At that point, there were 2 knocks at my door. Mom poked her head inside. Hey, Mom, can you help raise another kid, please? Were you awake? I've been calling you for dinner for a while. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. As someone financially dependent on his parents, I shouldn't say this, but I just sat around doing nothing, and food suddenly appeared. It felt so natural to me that I'd shamelessly thought of it as a responsibility of the parents who gave birth to me. But when I realized that natural thing was actually a right, I can realize just how hard it was to grant the privilege to others. Yeah. Even the boring meal in front of me, no better than it ever was, had more meaning than that tonight. There's food for 3 on the table right now. For Dad, for Mom, and for me. And assuming just from the line you mentioned about inefficiencies, like, anything that's left over is literally just for, like, leftover for the next day, then, huh? I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to add another plate to the table. But there's 4 chairs at the table, though. Think, Keiichi Maebara. If it was hard to make food for 4, then just think about how 4 people could eat food made for 3. Oh. I changed her in the way I thought, and with that I began to consider an unthinkably bold plan. That's right. I didn't need to get my parents' permission. Oh boy. Oh, you're gonna like starve yourself to give Sadako more food then? She'd just live here and oh god. I got upset when I found out a while ago. But if I remembered right, if you climbed out the window then shimmied down the first floor roof or the gutter, you could go in and out of the house directly from my room. That is oddly concerning. Sadako's physical ability far surpassed my own, so it would be even easier for her. I hadn't even thought about it. Her living here secretly was actually a necessity. I'd only had to bring Sadako to my house, and the public agencies said they would wait and see. That's an option. In other words, if Sadako's uncle continued to be her guardian, if, in such a situation, word got out that she was here, her uncle would barge in and drag Sadako back with him. Would... That's if... Oh god, your parents aren't gonna be home when that happens. If, like, that's gonna be... if this is literally just bold foreshadowing. God. This is literally just going back to not saying anything to your parents. And again, every single time, like, literally just them being left in abstract confusion of what happened in this entire month of just living here. Her uncle was her rightful guardian, so my parents would hand her over without an argument, no doubt. So I need to keep it a secret that she was living here. If it needs to be a secret. Having my parents' help would mean a lot, but you gotta deceive your allies first, like they always say. Okay. Persuading my parents was an unrealistic proposition, so I searched for a way to have her live here in secret. When I was around, she would just have to be really quiet in my room on the 2nd floor. This feels like an extra complicated way of, like, you can't really trust your parents in some sort of way. Like, not even just an abuse, I've seen, like, there's definitely those kind of, like, scenarios where, like, some parents, like, you know, offhandedly, like, mention, like, give their opinion to their kids. But, that's something that the kid actually, like, really is, like, struggling internally with. And, the second they hear their parents, like, admonish it, like, they feel like they can't talk to them about anything. This feels like, extended step beyond that, just from something which, seems normalish, and they have absolutely none of their fault at all. Oh my god. When I was around, she'd just have to be really quiet in my room on the 2nd floor. That, again, would just be suffocating. I agree it would be technically a better situation, but that's still gonna be just as hard. The issue was the daytime. If she's hiding from her uncle, then she shouldn't go to school. It might be lonely, but not going would be the better option. I could easily teach Sadako stuff she learns in her grade. I mean, this is literally just trying to put all responsibility into yourself, which literally just Reina just said, like, not to do, but you're pushing onto yourself. Like, gosh. I can easily teach Sadako stuff she learns in her grade. Can you, though? Actually, during school, I mostly help all the younger kids out rather than study my own stuff. You probably shouldn't say that so eagerly. This is why you go to cram school in summer. During the day, I would need to go to school, so I wouldn't be at home. My parents respected my privacy now that I was this age, so they wouldn't go sleeping in my room while I was gone. Maybe. I think. Exactly. If she holed herself in my room, it would be okay, right? They do barge in, hide in the closet. Okay. And then my parents did come. Thanks to the second floor was, she could hear the approach and the sound of them coming up the stairs. There'd be a little bit of time before they got all the way up. I estimate a few seconds that she'll be able to hide herself in the closet. Okay, you're literally just doing strategical plannings. Wait, Keiichi. Something doesn't make sense. If she can't go to school, then what will she do for lunch? Yeah, have fun. Calm down already. I could just leave her my own lunch, couldn't I? I should just go to school without lunch and get everyone else to split theirs with me. Then that just means they all know where Sadako is or anything like that. You're leaving your own lunch. If Reina is that smart, then of course she's gonna like figure things out. Okay, that's good. No more contradictions or oversights, right? Oh, breakfast and dinner. I could somehow get her to go without breakfast. I can go with 2 meals a day when I sleep out on Sundays as well. Every night, I pretend as though I had a bigger appetite, then ask for a bigger helping. And then I could just somehow give part of that to Sadako. How are you going to plan to do that, like, literally every single night? I mean, if your parents, like, had this, like, ritual of, like, eating a dinner table, and then, how exactly are you going to, I guess, bring food up to your own room without, like, being suspicious at a certain point for doing this every single day? As a test, I stood up from my seat, my plate of fish in my hands. What's wrong, Keiichi? Sit down and eat your food. Well, I'm kind of not in a good mood. Could I eat at my room? You'll make a mess. Eat dinner at the dinner table. Sorry. Hey, wait. I only tried to take away 1 plate of fish. They ganged up on me? In reality, it was impossible for me to smuggle food away without my parents knowing about it. Yeah, I was gonna call that out. But it must have been worth taking the time to think about. There must be some trick, some method to avoid them realizing. You're just slowly learning how to lie, and before you're terrible at lying. And if I can't think of one today, I might think of one tomorrow. My appetite was rapidly fading, so I finished early and went back to my room. I went back there, tried to think about it from Sadako's point of view. For example, let's say my parents are coming up the stairs right now. I've got to hide. I opened the closet. Clatter, clatter. It didn't open quietly. Hey, wait. Didn't it always open real smooth and quiet? Okay, you're going paranoid now. Why was it suddenly doing this now? No, it's probably just like it's always been like this, but now you're trying to listen very carefully and like trying to pinpoint everything down. You're now noticing how loud it can be. You never paid much attention to the noise before. Was this house even structurally safe? Was it already showing signs of dilapidation? My god. Or whether the hinges just not greased well enough. Oh my god. This is just the next step to, we gotta fortify the foundations before the earthquake comes and destroys everything in our house. Can I just apply some lubrication wax? What? The sound itself may have been soft, but it left me uneasy as to whether my parents would detect it happening when they climbed the stairs. This is an easy problem. I could do something about it. I just had to fix up a little bit so it didn't make noise anymore. For now, I'll close myself in the closet as though I successfully hid. I basically always left my futon on the floor. I couldn't think of any real reason my parents would want to go into my closet. Even so, there still might be some reason they would. Laundry, clothes, I don't know. I might need to construct some sort of camouflage so that she wouldn't be noticed even if they did open it. But the more she worried about that, the less time she'd actually have to hide, meaning it would be more likely to hear a noise. And then, I suddenly had to go to the bathroom. The bathroom? The need to use a toilet so obvious and such a fatal flaw. Okay, oh my god. The only bathroom was on the first floor. Oh my god. Yeah, this is only just turning into terrible situations all around. It would be absolutely impossible to use it without my family realizing. I might need to set up a portable toilet, like a chamber pot, I guess. Sadako would hate it, so she could go in my room. But the stench would be pretty terrible. And then your parents would be wondering, when they, like, I guess try to, like, they knock on your door and, like, step inside the smell and they're like, why do you have this in your room? And then, no matter what way you try to describe the answer, they'll think you're just weird then. And then, like, just from how, like, like, just in the whole exchange of, like, you can't take a plate to your room and all that, I think they would double down on it too. Anyone sensitive would probably notice the smell without even coming to the room. The bath was okay, though. She could just take a bath when my parents were out. But I couldn't do anything about the toilet. When her stomach started to hurt, and my parents were lazing around downstairs, she'd be in trouble. It was then that I noticed that I'd been clawing my head with both hands. I sat down in the dark claws of my knees against my chest. I buried my face in them and tore up my hair. The more I thought, the more contradictions popped up. The more I thought, the more things failed. The more I worried, the more I was reminded of how little power I actually had. My back started to hurt from staying in a cramped place for so long. But if I was to shelter Sadako, I would need to force her to feel this pain. To live in such a dark, narrow, suffocating place forever. But it would still be better than being abused by her uncle, or so I wanted to think. It got hard to breathe, so I gave in and crawled out of the closet. Oh my god. I looked at the clock, and to my surprise, it was 3:30 in the morning. Oh my god! And it felt like so little time, but it was so unbelievably long. Yeah, this is literally just every time I pace and just start ranting and raving in my own head. When I realized that, I was slammed with a terrible urge to sleep as if the time had only just caught up with me. Circadian rhythms, yay. I didn't have enough strength to fight it. I fell flat on my futon. Shit. I can't just go to sleep like this. If I waste any time, that'll mean I'm taking the same wait-and-see attitude that Mion and Coach and everyone else did. I need to keep worrying about how to rescue Sadako for a minute. Even a second longer than everyone else. You're just gonna stretch yourself out so much. Isn't there a better way? Isn't there a better way? That one phrase I spoke to myself swirled around and around in a spiral, and steadily took over my entire mind. For my last moment of consciousness, I thought. There were a lot of blind spots in what I considered tonight, but I absolutely wasn't wrong for having those ideas. Tomorrow, I was just as bold planned to the others. Mion might be able to help somehow, and Reina was really sharp, so she might have a good suggestion. And above all, we need to rescue Sadako once again, with everyone helping out. I felt pathetic for letting myself fall asleep. I'm sorry, Sadako. Yeah, that's just a lot of just things to consider. All at once. Ugh. Ugh. The ceiling blurred into view. It was hot. This thin layer of moist sweat on me. What? The voice of the cicadas permeating my room was somehow grating to my head. What? Today's not Sunday, is it? I didn't realize Sundays were that hot. Remember today was a weekday, and quickly brought myself to consciousness. And finally I leapt out of bed. The clock read a little before 10. I was totally late. Oh. When I wandered downstairs, my mom would get mad at me. There was nothing I could do, though. After reviewing the schedule of the school day for a moment, I suitably rearranged and stuffed my bag. I hurried and got dressed, then went down the stairs. Hey, Mom! I totally didn't fall asleep. There was no sign of my parents anywhere. Maybe they went out somewhere together. Oh, that's how it was. I was wondering why your parents would wake you up. My mother had probably woken me up once this morning, but then I fell back asleep without remembering it. Oh yeah, I definitely remember having that. I remember having this weird circadian rhythm just whenever I had to go to school, and sometimes my body just wakes up before even my mom approaches my room. I'm just that attuned to it, and sometimes waking up before alarms. Those are always fun. No, never. Yeah, I just remember just a few times, just like my mom just wanted me to like go somewhere with her, and it was like 8 or 9. She would just drive somewhere. As like yeah, sure. Like, and then I fell back asleep. She's like later the day, she's like, okay, so let's get ready to go. I was like, wait, what? And she's just like, you said you wanted to go. I don't remember any of that. Fun times. And my parents, thinking he'd gone to school, left. Something like that probably happened. I went to the front door, and as I expected, it was locked, deadbolt and all somehow, miraculously. Unless the garage is connected. Looked like I was right. There's further evidence of my speculation being correct. When I realized my parents were here, I suddenly felt less like I had to rush to get to school. There was one portion of breakfast left in the dining room. Probably mine. The milk they poured in had gone warm since a while ago. Cereal. When I realized how hard it would be to sneak food for Sadako, yesterday I'd cried. Oh. Well, thinking back on it, food wasn't the only issue in that regard. I wasn't in a position where I could care for Sadako by myself anyway. It's such a heavy thing just to save a single person. Yeah, and literally no matter which way I can think about it, I can't think of a good plan, honestly. Honestly, ever since this whole topic got brought up, there's literally no easy way or easy answers for anything. Yeah, even though like I even had I was a kid and like had this whole thing of like like trying to like outline I guess my own house and just like figuring out just like sticking around like a secret spy that I don't think I ever went to like this extreme, but yeah, it's definitely gonna be harder. Yeah. I've seen this on TV and comics all the time. Those feel-good words about how you'll save your friends for sure and such. Was that why I ran my mouth like that? Trying to save her because I wanted to feel good about it? No, that absolutely wasn't true. Because the fact was I couldn't save her. Because I didn't want to think it like an adult. Like I couldn't do anything but watch. Had Sadako gone to school today? I really immediately realized that was a meaningless question. Whether or not she did, there wouldn't be a change in the environment she'd been placed in. If I can save her, and no one else could either, then we can only pray for a miracle. Yeah, this is literally just showing off, just like, if you're stuck in a bad situation, like, you've been thinking about every single way to think about it, and there's no other way, it literally just goes into the whole thing about learned helplessness, and all that. Which, I had my own experience with that for a while. Depression. Fun. Are we so powerless? With a vague goal of getting to school in mind, I sluggishly put on my shoes and stumbled out the front door. I had only slept by 2 or 3 hours. The sunlight and air felt completely different from how they usually were in the morning. Well, of course they did. Once 10 o'clock came around, you can barely call it morning anymore. It's technically still morning, though, so I didn't feel like walking the same old route to school, time to climb trees and into people's backyards to get there. I needed to ultimately end up there, but it was like, I didn't want to choose the shortest route, the most proactive one to get to school. The scenic route. But in a more positive light, maybe I want some time to walk by myself and think. Yeah, most likely. I had to go to school, partly to make sure Sadako was safe, but I hadn't come up with any plans yet. Nothing since last night. So the path I took from my house is in the complete opposite direction. If I went this way, I'd pass Reina's house and the dam site. It would be quite a detour. I calculated how long a detour would end up being, then satisfied the answer, I started to walk. 3 hours! Reina had brought me to the dam site a few times. Oh, okay, bring up stuff from the first chapter then. One section had been turned into an unlawful, oversized garbage dump, and Reina really liked going fishing for junk in there. Without that, she'd come off as a completely normal girl, too. I could think of a few other qualities she could do without, but whatever. Don't you dare go there. The view quickly opened up wide, and I was hit by a strong wind. There was no shelter here at this big dam site. Maybe it's a good thing I came here, I thought. At the very least, it was more healthy to think about stuff in a place like this instead of my cramped bedroom. I took a deep breath and filled my lungs with the rich, cold air unique to Hinamizawa. Ring, ring. I turned around reflexively. It was a bicycle bell. It's the school police. They found you. They caught you. They're gonna bring you there against your will. Considering where I was standing, I didn't think they were trying to get me out of the way. They rang the bell because they wanted something from me. Oh, hi. Oh, hey again! We're meeting you before you inevitably die again. How fun. Look at this upbeat, cheerful music. Like nothing is wrong in the world. Also, why are you not in school? Hey, excuse me. You're from Hinamizawa, right? Yes, why? I've seen this person around a few times. Right, I remembered. Miraculously. His name, I think, was Tomatake, a freelance photographer who lived in Tokyo. He would zealously visit Hinamizawa every season and take pictures. Or so me and the others told me, I think. Could you tell me how to get to the Fruity Shrine from here? I think I left my map at the inn. I don't know where to go. The shrine? From here? Huh. I knew where everything was in my head, but explaining how to get there was difficult. I was a little irritated having been bothered for this, but then I realized that my detour actually meant something. That feeling fading quickly. Man, I'm actually now useful in this detour. I'll tell you, but it's a little difficult to explain. I could bring you there, if you don't mind. Oh boy, more detours until you're not even at school anymore. Really? I would be in your debt. Thanks a lot. But are you sure? Did you have something to do? Tomataki's-san finally appeared. I realized how strange it was for a student like me to be here this time of day, and I'm assuming school uniform. I smoothly told him not to worry about it, then turned my back and started walking towards the Fruity Shrine. Are you suddenly just going to turn into delinquent unknowingly? Tomataki-san hurried to turn his bike around and came after me. Sorry. Don't worry, all guys have times when they need to split up from the pack and be lone wolves for a while. Don't go into the whole alpha omega bullshit. What a free-minded freelancer. It was easier for me too, that he was under that impression. I'm Tomataki, a freelance photographer. I specialize in wild birds and landscapes. I'm still pretty unknown though. It seemed absurd for him to introduce himself when I was just showing him to the shrine, but he gave me his name, so I need to give mine back. I'm Maebara. Pleased to meet you, I guess. Maebara-kun. Pleased to meet you. He's something a pretty silly man, but that felt kind of good considering I'd been suffocating with worry over Sadako all night. A good distraction. Along the way, Tomataki-san spoke at length to me about how precious the nature in Hinamizawa was. How it was a treasure trove of rare wild birds, despite me not having asked. I wasn't interested in what he had to say, but he seemed to be enjoying himself, so I left him to it. Look, allow the person to rant and rave and go in passionate zeitgeist gushes, okay? I mean, if he's not allowed to, then I certainly can't. Oh, we just passed by her house. Okay. These steps will take you up to the shrine grounds. Thank you. You really helped me out. I think I'm a little late. Late for what? As Tomataki-san mumbled to himself, he left his bicycle nearby and started to climb the stairs quickly. I didn't have a watch, but as far as my internal clock could guess, it was still a little late in the morning. School wasn't very far from here. You just appear suddenly, just to go to lunch. Maybe I could kill a little more time until then. Oh. With that in mind, I went the steps in pursuit of Tomataki-san. You're literally just trying to justify, like, literally, not going to, like, you're just slowly just isolating yourself until you have a good plan, and even then, that's not going to work out too well. Sometimes you just gotta do something. Sometimes. When I reached the top of the long staircase, I arrived at the wide-open shrine grounds that were too grand-looking for this tiny village. It's really nice. Tomataki-san. Oh, there he is. It looked like you were supposed to be meeting someone here. Then he got lost and ended up being late. He was bowing to a lady. He must have been the person he was meeting. Oh, hi again! Hi. That lady. I knew her. I've been to the hospital too many times to count. Oh, is that you, Maebara-kun? Hello there. Are you off from school today? What? Oh, Maebara-kun, you followed me? Yes, I like stalking people, okay? I wasn't really planning to. I was planning to eavesdrop, though. I just wanted to kill some time. Oh my. Arriving at work late like an executive. I'm refined. You certainly are famous, taking the time to look like a big shot. What was I, celebrity? Based on how a lot of people start clapping or whatever you do, I guess you're well known in the town, I guess. Plus, almost everyone in town knows, like, I guess the Demon Club group. Well, she did say my name out of nowhere, anyway. I was oddly concerned about what she meant by famous. Oh, because you're an outsider, of course everyone knows your name. Oh, you still can't remember my name. This is Mio Takano-san. She works at the village clinic. Maebara-kun, you seem healthy, so you probably haven't been to the hospital much, have you? Not physically. Now we're finding acquaintances, the next time you're sick or anything, I suppose I'll give you a little bit of special treatment. This lady named Takano-san, I kinda didn't remember her. She's forgettable. Maybe we passed each other on the street a few times. I was pretty sure this was the first time we talked. Well, this is Hinamizawa. Even if I don't know a person's name, it's not unusual for them to know mine. I glanced at Takano-san and saw she had a bag and a camera. My gosh. Pairings. Are you photography partners? Was that why you're meeting each other? Well, we're nothing like partners. Okay. I'm a bit of an amateur. And Jiro-san is gently initiating me into it. Right? That's not it at all. Takano-san is a quick learner. She could take pictures just fine without my guidance. You're just kind of subtly implying that she's better at taking photos than you. Or like she's learning about your trade and like, your exact tips quickly. She's already up to your level. And she would surpass you in photography, but she doesn't like it that much. Oh god, that's even worse. Someone could pick up your talent. Like someone just picks up your interest and learns everything faster than you did and becomes better than you. Oh god, that'll be terrible. That'd be terrible. She can take pictures just fine without my guidance, I mean it. I couldn't tell which of them was ahead in the conversation. Well, there was certainly one couple you wouldn't get tired of watching. The festival is finally coming up the day after tomorrow. Oh, it's only in 2 days now. We're only going to be, only a few days of the festival. Hope I can take some good pictures this year. I plan on taking some shots of the setup tomorrow. I'm going to capture the festival energy shown by the preparations for it, too. Oh, I just remembered. The festival exists! There was some village festival called Watanagashi or something the day after tomorrow on Sunday. They hold a service with a pile of old futons in order to give thanks to Hinamizawa's guardian deity Oyashiro-sama, I think. Curse. Oh, you're correct. You have quite extensive knowledge despite just having moved here. Yes, it is a festival. To give thanks to Oyashiro-sama. What was that pause for? What was that pause for? Are you going to exposition mode? Takano-san smiled somehow meaningfully, but didn't tell me what part of a festival looked to thank Oyashiro-sama may be laughed at. Cryptic as ever, Takano-san. But I do wonder what happened this year. Yes, we're in the mode now. You know what to say. If it happens twice, it'll happen a third time. Did it happen more than 3 times? It's already happened 4 times. Stop! Stop it! I think there's less evidence that it won't happen a 5th time, don't you think? I knew what they meant by the whispered exchange. Right in front of you. On the day of Watanagashi, a freak death always occurs, which people call Oyashiro-sama's curse. a disappearance occurs that people call being demoned away. Oh my gosh, those two aren't getting exposition dumps. Keiichi is. Oh my gosh. These these strange events had happened 4 years running, and Nagashi, rapidly approaching the day after tomorrow, March the 5th. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama puts a curse on enemies of the village, huh? It does happen this year. I wonder who will find themselves at gunpoint. I don't think anyone dies by gun. Unless it's gonna change. Oh, and I always come here to pray and donate money whenever I visit. It won't be me, for sure. That's what they all say. That sounds like someone who actually is gonna be the target would say. Oh, is that so? That's what someone who's gonna be the next target would say. They said Shiro-sama has been especially harsh on outsiders recently, you know. Maebara-kun may have only just moved in, but he's a proper member of Hinamizawa. But you, Jiro-san, are a stranger who only comes once a year. But since you interact with a stranger, an outsider, then that means you might be ended up dead too, then. I wonder, will he let you go this year? That's harsh. Tomotaki-san was the only one with the pained grin, but we were all smiling, me included. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama, the one who used a curse to kill people involved with the dam construction project, one after the next. He killed the dam construction manager. Oh yes, the god did, not the people who, you know, well, unless you want to say that I'm, oh yeah, Shiro-sama, I possess every single culprit there, then I'm, yeah, sure. Killed Sadako's parents for supporting it. The next year, he even killed her aunt. The demoning away was part of that curse, then you could add Satoshi to the list of victims. As I thought about it, I realized in the serial freak death incidents, the overwhelming majority had the last name Hojo. Yeah. Half the deaths and disappearances had come from the Hojo family. Well, we were here to, like, you know, distract ourselves from Sadako and, like, you know, her plan just to calm ourselves down. We're now right back into it. Paranoia. Sadness. Oh god. Heaviness. The Hojo family lived here in Hinamizawa. Did that mean Oyashiro-sama punished and cursed them particularly harshly because, despite that, had been in favor of the dam? But was Satoshi and Sadako technically a part, like, they were, I don't think they want to, they didn't mention anything about the dam project itself. That doesn't seem like they would actually be in favor of it. It was just their parents, so, like, just because their parents, like, the whole thing is now extended down, like, a stupid, like, sons of the fathers trope of revenge. God damn it. Have you heard the news that Sadako's uncle has returned? Takano-san, had been enjoying a few words of Tomotaki-san, was caught unaware by a sudden inquiry. Also new sprite. Subtly. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? Sadako's parents were killed by the curse, and her aunt too. So I was wondering if maybe you had an order. Excuse me, yawn. Her uncle will be next. I literally just woke up and tried to get this. The mod crashed, and I had to take care of things so quickly. Her aunt had a miserable death in the curse last year, and her uncle let his fear take over and fled into town, right? Oyashiro-sama doesn't allow people to try and abandon the village, does he? I hadn't intended to be quite this persistent, but those words, they just fell out of my mouth on me thinking about it. Right. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't believe in something so unrealistic, of course. Of course, apparently. The fact was that every year, unfortunate accidents and incidents occurred to the enemies of the village. Like, look, if you don't believe in the curse, then you at least believe in the coincidence that is everyone dying or going missing the exact same day every single year. Like Takano-san just said just now, it happened 4 times. No one could say there wouldn't be a 5th. That's an interesting suggestion. It is true that you look at those sacrificed in previous years. Those named Hojo come up quite frequently. Look at how long it's gone on for. Her uncle being the one to die or disappear this year isn't out of the question. Not again, Takano-san. Don't laugh about it. It could really happen. I'm sorry, but Oyashiro-sama's cursed my life's work. Takano-san gave out a mysterious, somehow intellectual impression, and her life's work was mysterious in its own right. Just looking all into those curses and folklores and folktales. You probably really like inexplicable supernatural phenomenon or something. Oh, yes. Takana-san, you seem like you know a lot about Oyashiro-sama. Give me your honest thoughts. Given that he's a Hojo and that he's returned, what are the chances that the uncle will fall to the curse? Sudden interest Keiichi has into him, the uncle being deadified or missing-ified. My what? You seem like you really want this uncle of hers dead. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not... no. Ah, bloodthirsty. I wonder. It all depends on the whims of God. Maebara-kun, do you know the true identity of Santa Claus? It's, the guy at the mall, right? Huh? I got a strange question on my son. I couldn't immediately answer. Was the answer not satisfactory? Okay, where are we getting this? What? You don't know? It's your daddy. I don't believe you. The daddy's in everyone's family. But, what? That's what you meant? Well, I mean, of course. Everything ultimately comes down to humans in the end. After all, humans are the only ones living in the world. I like how we're just conveniently just brushing past every other animal in the animal kingdom then. Gosh dang. Do you know that octopuses are super smart? Don't bring up the octopi. All strange things should be explainable in terms of human actions. All strange things. Okay, I didn't realize black holes are part of human actions. Everything outside the universe is. The Big Bang, the Big Bang that created the universe definitely was part of human action before we even created or born. Unless you believe in the whole perception reality. We just because we exist means that universe exists, but that's a whole rabbit hole for another game. I felt like I put that somewhat strangely, but Takana-san was not as dissatisfied with our reply as I might have guessed. Oh, it's impressive that you caught on to that at such a young age. You're right. Strange things that happen in the world of man are all caused by man for his own benefit. Yeah. Maebara-kun, I'll ask you again then. This time, not Santa Claus, but Oyashiro-sama. Do you know anything about who Oyashiro-sama is? Keiichi, do you have all the answers? She took a step towards me and gazed in my eyes, and she asked, Santa Claus was really the parents of every family's children. The analogy there is kind of funny to me. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama, a deity who's like slowly killing and making people go missing, compared to Santa Claus, who just comes in, breaks into your house, leaves you gifts behind, and steals your food, which you do leave out, but still. If lionizing that legend was a corporate tactic to try and profit during Christmas sales, then lionizing. This is big words. Then what was Oyashiro-sama really? The Santa Claus technology is getting more funnier. Oh, didn't you already say? The only humans in this world. Everything can be explained by human actions, right? Maebara-kun, keep this to yourself, okay? This string of freak death incidents attributed to Oyashiro-sama's curse. Takano-san's view is that they may be premeditated homicides, performed by the people of Hinamizawa and based on some kind of ceremony. Let's believe it'd be like that. No, don't misunderstand me. My life's work is to research teachings, thoughts, and cultures from the viewpoint of folklorism. I don't really care at all about who the culprit really is. Yeah, you mentioned that before in the second chapter. But wait, how do we know that? Keiichi's not supposed to know that. Just keep that in mind, please. I can tell only that she was saying some crazy stuff. She's a researcher. To use a food analogy, like you'd force feed a duck to be fattened, she forced her words down my throat. That's what it felt like. Technically? I guess. Using a one weird analogy to use another weird analogy to explain an even weirder analogy. To understand that in the first place, you have to go all the way back to the ancient times, when Hinamizawa was called Onigafuchi, or the Demon's Abyss. Can we see what the Demon's Abyss is like? Or like, did Keiichi already pass by the swamp area, technically? Like, many times. The transcendents who lived there believed themselves to carry the blood of demons, and so were only half human. Takano-san, having entered her own home field, leaned forward and began to speak of ridiculous matters. But it's fun. It's honestly really fun to hear all this again. Tomitake-san realized she was overawing me and interrupted for me. Takano-san. You can't just chatter on about that stuff to Maebara-kun, but he's asking. He wants to know. Look, he's really confused. Oh my, are you? If you want to hear more, ask me anytime. I have heaps of the grotesque stories that boys your age seem to love hearing. You know, I can't deny that. Like, I literally I love reading scary stories and all that as a kid, and like all the UFOs, the Bermuda Triangle, and all that. I think I remember just one story of I guess collection of rumors and gossip about I guess the inexplicable phenomenon of spontaneous combustion, and someone's like their whole body just like engulfed in flames, leaving only their leg, but apparently nothing else in the room was burned, even though like where they like burst into flames suddenly, the chair they were sitting in was not singed. The newspaper, which was literally just a foot away, did not even catch fire. It's strange. Anyway, thank you. If you feel like it, I will. For now, I softly and safely gave my refusal. Takano-san seemed a little unhappy that Tomitake-san had rained in her parade. They stopped talking about it then. She'll give out earful to him later. I want to traumatize the little kids, okay? traumatize the youngins. Even so, it was still a very interesting story. Then ask about it. That Oyashiro-sama's curse, which we thought of as strange freak deaths, were really homicides, perpetuated by people of the village. Well, I mean, if you thought about it logically, it would have to be. People wouldn't be dying because of a curse. Then, by that logic, then, everyone is fucking cruel then for, like, just killing the aunt and leaving the uncle alive then. And then by that proxy, why kidnap or just, like, make Satoshi go missing then? Holy shit, if it's actually people, that's so fucking cruel. I mean, if you thought about it logically, it would have to be. People wouldn't be dying because of a curse. Someone's obviously killing people and making it look like one. Indeed. As for who that is, might be safer not to try and find out. But aren't you gonna go and break into a storehouse later? How do you know about that? I'm psychic. You seem like you know, Takano-san. You may not have proof, but you seem like you believe it. Oh my, why do you think that? I just kind of felt it vaguely. It didn't seem like her extreme passion for this research would calm down just because these things were taboo, or because it was safer and easier. This person loved walking through the profound, forbidden abyss of risks and taboos. Yes, she's honestly great. It's honestly kind of fun to just, like, research or, like, learn, like, all about it. Literally just love reading dark subject matter and all that, literally. It does kind of damage judgments, though. It gets too dark maybe sometimes, but, you gotta build up defenses and all that, learn to get over it quickly. Adulthood or other excuse I can think of to, like, explain away my obsession, apparently. My god. Let's leave it at that, Keiichi-kun. I just helped you escape it. Now you're trying to talk about Oyashiro-sama again. That means he wants to walk bravely back into the lion's den and get trapped in the snare. I want to take a nice walk while it's still cool. Hamizaki-san seemed a little disappointed not to be able to go on the date he planned since I brought up a weird topic. Man, you asked a kid to figure out where, like, your dating spot would be, and now you're bringing along a third wheel. Have fun! But right now, there's something I wanted to ask, just for a little bit. And that was, but whether Sadako's uncle be chosen for the curse this year, just cling to Takano's, like, just cling to Sakano at the hip. Like, please tell me she's, like, her uncle's gonna die. Please tell me, please! If he's not, I'll take it my own self. Knife. If he was, then another miracle would happen, just like last year. A terrible incident would happen again, but would release Sadako from her unfortunate circumstances once more. It's more like just in the like, you're trying to make it sound like a miracle. It's probably not gonna be a miracle if it's gonna happen around if it's suddenly the whole entire thing is gonna change to the uncle, honestly. So are you saying that literally when her parents died, that was a miracle? Is that what you're implying, Keiichi? I know that's not what you're trying to say, but like the first time like her parents, like I think it was the second year, her like couple, they died. I don't quite think that was a miracle. Same thing with her brother going missing, if that's part of the curse. That year is technically half a miracle and half a horrible curse then. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I do have a few suspicions of the kind of people who would probably become involved, of course. I wonder if there's anyone besides the Sonozakis, like anyone has suspicions on. It's a natural and noble conclusion for anyone who's researched the history of Omegafuji Village. Who do you mean? What would I do if I knew? I asked that question to the other me deep inside, but got no reply. How enthusiastic. What would you do if you knew? Nothing, really. Wait and see. If you found out, you might get into danger yourself, you know. Maybe the 5th year's curse would be you. No, the 5th year, like, every time Keiichi goes, that's, curse, 5.5. Version 5.5. Takano-san, towing a taboo, gave a devilish, satisfied smile, as though nothing in the world would be more amusing. She was probably trying to tease me. I didn't feel like going along with her little game one bit. Technically, you were doing by asking him questions to talk about her interests, so what do you mean you're now not gonna play her game at all? You like to talk pretty big, but you don't really know yourself, do you, Takano-san? Didn't she say she didn't really care about the culprits? What do you mean, Keiichi? I felt a tinge of irritation at Takano-san's roundabout way of speaking, but those emotions escaped my mouth, like water flowing through a strainer. I don't know why, I always call it like a strainer, like you put like, I guess, pasta to get rid of water, like a streamer. Don't ask me why, I just do, as a kid. Even I was surprised at how directly I'd spoken about what I felt. Of course, I wasn't the only one taken aback. Oh my, you're something. You might be just a boy, but you can still provoke people. How unexpectedly rugged. I don't dislike people like that, you know? Takano-san's tongue poked up her mouth, and I was convinced that it was long, thin, and split in the middle like a snake's. Man, she's a demon. Alright, I'll tell you then. But you promise me 3 things first. 3 conditions, contracts, sign right here, sign away your soul. 1, not to regret it, no matter what I tell you. 2, not to tell it to anyone. 3, not to tell anyone I told you. I go firmly, and nodded. Basically, don't tell anyone, keep it secret, even from yourself, don't regret it internally, yay. I gulped firmly and nodded. Tomitaki-san made an exaggerated expression of distress, gave a dry, vague smile, and lit a cigarette. Please, tell me, who is putting this curse on people? Who is it? Who's deciding who gets cursed? After I finally said that, I finally realized why I wanted to know. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the end of that section. Are they actually gonna be like, was it the barbecue like has 3 sections? So I mean, this is all dedicated just her exposition wise then. Oh my god. Okay, that's gonna be important later. Many of my classmates were playing freely in the schoolyard. I was traumatized hearing all that. I needed to get my mind off of playing games. A few of them had just run out of the school building and were putting on their shoes and tapping their toes to the ground. It looked like they had just finished eating lunch. From a time manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded. Oh, Maebara-san! Are you okay? A few girls noticed me and came running over. It was only natural they were worried. Yeah, I'm one person when just not came to school for a couple days straight. Then then suddenly Keiichi did not come to school. You think if someone wasn't there in the morning, they'd be out the rest of the day. Well, I'm just late for school. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what about Sadako? Did you come today? The girls exchanged glances. Oh boy. I saw a thin shadow fall over their face, then knew the answer without needing to hear the reply. She was absent today, too. When all was said and done, being out 3 days, she'd only come back for 1. Can't, like... Well, I don't know if that's, like... Well, Japan, like, values, like, I guess, like, you know, my... Well, I don't... That's me making assumptions, but, like... I can only make this assumption and guess right now, like... Since it's, like, the whole thing about schools, cram schools, like, you know, getting to college, being the best of the best... At least, like, you know, there's the whole, like, ranking of top hundreds I keep hearing in, like, other, like, I guess shows and other anime and, like, movies and that. Like, wouldn't, like, you be, like, wouldn't kids, like, are being, should forced to go to school? Like, that's the sense, like, I get from here, plus in America, honestly, it's almost the same thing. Of, like, high school, like, middle school, elementary school, and all that, it's required for kids, well, it's, like, homeschool or just actually go into institution. So, like, can't that maybe be a way to look maybe to, getting Sadako out? They haven't talked about that yet, so, I guess maybe? That or, like, it's probably not, something that's on the minds of, I guess, like, you know, the Demon Club friend group. When all was said and done, after being out 3 days, she'd only come back for 1. And now she was out again. Who knew she would come tomorrow? Yeah, but the teacher said she got a phone call from Sadako-chan. She said she had a cold. Chi-sensei said everyone make sure to rinse their mouths out really well. Wait a minute, Chi-sensei. That's a little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Why can't you be more sensitive and catch on to the fact that your pupil is sending out an SOS? But even if she did, there was nothing we could hope for. Most she could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Sadako from her uncle into safety. No matter the results, it would just end up just like the public agencies, though, with a wait-and-see attitude. It just pissed Sadako's uncle off, and her suffering would only grow deeper. And wasn't saying she had a cold the best option? She's right. Be careful not to catch a cold. Got it? You can go now. Dismissed. There's still plenty of time left in the lunch break. The girls excitedly scanned the schoolyard. Well, are you gonna go inside and eat your foods, Keiichi's? Oh, Keiichi-kun! Rain was yelling at the classroom window, waving her hand. Dive bombs out window. You're here! A moment later, Mion and Rika-chan poked their heads out too. We were very worried that even you would be absent today. That you went missing. Thank goodness. You don't seem sick. You look pretty okay. I'm a little uncomfortable with her saying they didn't look sick, but I didn't care that much. What happened? Overslept? Well, late is late, no matter what, huh? I think if I said I was late because of a train accident, she'd let it slide. A train accident? Just get run over by a train. God damn it. You overslept? Mia was being a bit persistent. Literally, you just get hit by a train, and even though you get the most traumatic incident in your entire life, the school is like, oh, nope, you're absent, come on, nope, get back in. I don't care if you have a concussion. I don't care that I don't care that you lost limbs. You're late. You're not supposed to be absent. You didn't get a doctor's note yet. You didn't get a doctor's note. Come back into school right now. I don't care if the blood leaks into the floor. You're gonna sit down at that desk and just do some schoolwork. Was she gonna put on her club president cap and scold me for being late? Well, maybe she didn't have to do it for me, so I briefly stated that she was right. There's still more bento. Everyone eat up. Without Keiichi-kun here, we couldn't have any fun. Sadako was still absent, huh? Even Reina, feigning cheerfulness, couldn't stand to hear that, and her face darkened. She called this morning. Apparently she said her cold came back and she was staying home again. She said it might go on for a while, too. Just be sad, so we're talking about going to visit. Oh boy, that's not gonna go well. What are you saying, Rika-chan? It's gonna help her, but, like, how are you gonna, like... Oh, God. How, like, this is the first thing. Are you planning, like, how to, like, actually approach and talk around her uncle? That's the very first thing. Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a wide smile as though it was a happy occasion, I threw cold water on her. Oh boy. We know best of all she's gonna be cold, don't we? Don't ever tell a fib like that again, even as a joke. I know you're trying to be helpful, but honestly, it's one thing. It's like, here's the thing. It's one thing to literally where people are trying to forget a bad situation. Another thing where there should be ways to, like, think of a way to actually like maybe like think of a plan and all that. But like, literally, you guys are arguing of plans for like hours and can't come up with anything. And why are you like immediately just trying to ruin the atmosphere again? Remember, like, gosh, even like in Danganronpa, like whenever like stuff came up, the technical rival characters like ruining the atmosphere by saying like don't be naive and all that. I kind of agree with them, but that was just because everyone was trying to completely ignore the incident. This is not that, Keiichi. Don't, just don't go there, okay? I'll get mad next time. Okay. Rika-chan furrowed her brow, looked down, and mumbled an apology. Not just you, Keiichi-kun. It's hard for everyone. I know I'm not the only one worrying. I swear to God, if you start saying like that, I'm worrying the most at anyone. But none of us can do anything either, can we? That's true, but... But... I got the feeling like it would cause another fight the exchange went on. So I apologized first. Sorry. I'm sorry. So forget what I just said. It's hard for everyone, right? It must be. It was at least clear, however, I wasn't the one who had worried so much about rescuing her. At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams, too. They definitely hadn't stayed up all night thinking so desperately. I know that'd be what you want to hear right now until you get to school. But you were late today, Kei-chan. Did it have anything to do with Sadako being absent? Huh? Mion, what are you talking about? Sometimes you act kind of foolhardy, Kei-chan. Look, Keiichi, again, the key mentions this in every single timeline, so just let it seep into every single collective conscious for you. Then they can read your thoughts, okay? They understand. Unless your thoughts are way too complicated, which they can't understand at all, so have fun. When both you and her were absent this morning, we seriously thought you might have kidnapped her and hidden her somewhere. Easy for you to... Literally just about to plan to do that yourself? Okay, then. If I could have, I had done that last night. Oh my gosh. None of them had really thought about how difficult that clear as day solution was. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening. And then I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort. Don't be dumb. I couldn't. I couldn't hide someone. You're right. Your plans would fail. I'm sorry. I apologize if I upset you. Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's eat some food. I'm starving. I took my bento box in my bag. Everyone moved to make a spot for me to sit. Maebara-kun! Oh boy, we're gonna get railed by a train now. Did you just get here? And just as I was about to stick my chopstick in, Chi-sensei came along. Well, there goes lunch. Yeah? Sorry for being late. I overslept. What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look. When you're finished eating, could you and the president come to the teacher's lounge? Oh boy, there's something I want to talk about. Probably about Sadako, I thought. If it's not, then this is ominous and threatening. Sensei left it at that and went back into the hallway. Eating lunch can wait. Let's go, Mion. Okay, starving yourself. Nice. Yay. You're right. Mion and I exchanged looks, nodded to each other, and got up. Well, there goes the cheerful atmosphere in several different ways, more than one. Not even just from us. It's probably about Sadako-chan. Nah, I don't think so. Not at all. Definitely not. No doubt about it. They were saying she had a cold, but everyone in class knew the truth. I didn't think that wouldn't have reached the teacher's ears by now. I kept playing dumb, so I think she gave up asking me. Revealing the truth to the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Sadako's friend and knew that she was trying to endure the trial of her uncle's abuse in order to get her uncle to come home? What should we do? Maybe we should use this chance to get a collective opinion. What do you want to do, Rika-chan? Meep. Sadako's closest and best friend was Rika-chan. However much I pretend to be your Nini, it didn't come close to the amount of time they'd spent together. They're literally just point blank saying this explicitly. I wonder why. So I felt like her opinion should be held in the highest regard. I know why Sadako is enduring her uncle's torture. Everyone looked startled and turned to me. Back then, whenever Sadako was abused, she probably cried and hid behind her brother. But Sadako thinks that, in the end, that's why her brother ran away. I just noticed, Mian, why are you so suddenly happy now? What? My God. Who did you hear that from? The coach, I bet. I nodded quietly. Sadako believes her brother will come back if she can withstand the abuse. Maybe that's why she's trying to push through. But that assumption has nothing to do with Satoshi coming back. It hurts to say that about Sadako, but it's the truth. Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same thing. Sadako probably won't be happy no matter who helps her. She wants to withstand everything with her own strength. But is it really right to respect that? I don't think it is. Even if Sadako hates us for a while, I think there will come a time when we need to save her against her will. Yeah, this seems like going into the whole thing of like, how do you help someone who doesn't want to be helped? Which is another complicated question to ask. And I think that time might be now. I told them all about what I saw and how I felt when I went to Sadako's house yesterday. Keiichi-kun, so you think we should tell someone? Of course. Only after we're sure that reporting it to the public agency will guarantee your safety. Without being sure of that, it could just get more dangerous for her instead. It's a typical problem. You think we can get a definite promise out of the teacher? I had no confidence. We had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan had her head raised for a while, as if asking for opportunity to speak. I will leave it to Keiichi. What? Is that okay, Rika-chan? Keiichi is thinking about Sadako more than anyone else here. If Keiichi thinks that we need to tell someone, then I have no complaints. Thanks. Mion? Reina? Are you okay with that? Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when she saw Reina's firm nod, she made up her mind to do the same. Okay. Let's go, Mion. Right. Into the teacher's lounge. Okay. Only Chi-sensei was in the teacher's lounge. We didn't see the principal anywhere. The schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said, Training, going straight home. Our principal's sense of justice was too strong. That's justice? Okay. Or he just has a strict schedule, I think. Sadako's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. When the teacher saw Mia and I come in, she closed up her curry bento, saving the rest for later. Sit over there, please. She told us to take a seat in the chair directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork for transferring in. The two of us sat there uncomfortably before the teacher walked over carrying a notebook and a ballpoint pen and sat in front of us. Maebara-kun, you're absent this morning. Did something happen? I'm sorry, I overslept. Really? I had no reason to lie. She narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion. I think you're lying. Now I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about Sadako. In any case, I think you two already know. Your friend Hojo-san has been away frequently lately. Neither Mia nor I had anything to say in response. But the teacher proceeded, not minding. Would you happen to know anything? There are some people in class spreading bad rumors. Mia looked down and remained silent, as though she were being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone had made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me. Yeah. Mian-kun? Or you, Maebara-kun? I won't get mad or anything, okay? If you know something, I just want you to tell me. Sensei, can we ask you a question first? She must not anticipate that response. She looked surprised. I don't know what rumors are going around about Sadako in class. But those rumors happen to be true. What would you do, Sensei? Well, what would I do? It's true that I can't leave it alone. Can't leave what alone exactly? What would you do? Her eyebrows shot up. Maybe I said it like I was trying to pick a fight. Maebara-kun, I'm being serious here. So am I. I'm also being completely serious right now. Please answer me. If it were true, what wouldn't you leave alone? Sensei took a few deep breaths. Then began to speak slowly. What are the rumors spread around? First, I had to visit Hojo-san's house to confirm the situation. Her uncle might get mad and drive you away, though. Well, okay. Let's say you did meet with Sadako and her uncle. Then what? And I asked whether it was true. Once I get the facts, I go from there. Please stop talking so vaguely. What exactly would you do? Even despite my tone being so provocative, she bit back her emotions and listened calmly. I thought then that she was a good teacher. Sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart. But she didn't have the power or the authority to save Sadako. If she let her own sense of justice run away with her, the situation could get more complex. Sensei folded her arms, and for a few moments, she closed her eyes as though mentally concentrating. When they opened again, there was a strictness in her eyes I'd never seen before. There's a law called the Child Welfare Law. It clearly states that abuse against children will not be allowed, no matter who it is. So it would seem. Oh my god, that's definitely pointed. Then what? I contacted the Okinomiya Child Consultation Center. You suggested now they would be turned away, didn't you? Child welfare officers can bring the police to them if the situation demands. They will not submit to intimidation. How many days would it take after you contact the social worker and submit the paperwork for her to be saved? It'll be the same day. Their job is to guarantee the immediate safety of children. I know that. That's if they decide there's an urgent need, though. If they didn't, then they do the same as you. They go from there. They just wait and see, right? They just watch. It would make Sadako's uncle's mood sour, and Sadako would be stuck with him there. Kei-chan, that's going a little too far. It's technically kind of still the truth, though. I'm not lying, though, am I? Last year, or the year before, whatever. That's exactly what happened when the child welfare people came, isn't it? And what happened then? You and Sensei would know about it a lot better than I would. I had said too much. I didn't need Mia to tell me that. I was fucking crazy and itching for a fight. I was supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure we could save Sadako. But I basically told her everything right from the start. Chi-sensei looked at the clock, stood up, and picked up the phone in the principal's seat. Okay. Hello? Put me through to extension 3455, please. Is this okay, Kei-chan? Is this really okay? It was too late. The die had been cast. Now we could only pray. Oh, thank you for answering my call. I'm Chi, a licensed teacher at the Hinamizawa branch school. Would Director Watanabe happen to be in the guidance office? Yes, that's right. Something urgent came up. I'd like to contact the principal as soon as I can. Yes. Thank you. Please tell him immediately. Yes, thank you. The teacher put down the phone and tilted her head back and took a breath, like I always did. Taking your mannerisms for anyone. I'll ask two of you again. Are the rumors going around class really true? Yes. Yesterday I went to Sadako's house. I saw for myself just how bad it really is. You can leave the rest to me. Like, Coach is also there, so you can ask, like, Keiichi can just ask Coach about it. He's gotta come up soon again. I still don't exactly trust him. Even barring away all the weirds, even how the weird way he talks is. Even besides that. You can leave the rest to me. I'll definitely do something for Sadako-chan. Something? Please stop saying such ambiguous things. Not something. We have to save her. If they end up deciding to wait and see again, how do you plan on taking responsibility? While I was yelling, the phone rang. Chi-sensei snatched the receiver up first. Hello? Oh, I apologize for interrupting your training. Yes? Actually, it's about the issue with Sadako Hojo-san. Yes? Sensei waved us away, telling us we could leave now. Mian went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. If it didn't look like she was going to say anything substantial, then I'd tell them the truth, even if I had to steal the phone from her. Yes. No, I haven't contacted them yet. Yes. I haven't confirmed it, but it seems pretty bad from what the children are saying. It's not just pretty bad. Do something about it. Right now. If you're going to report it, then I don't care who you tell. But I swear, if they end up just waiting and watching again, I will never forgive you. I yelled angrily at Sensei and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, in some way, convey to them just how dangerous her situation was right now. I understand that. I will tell them as much. Mian-kun, please take Maebara-kun back to the classroom. Yes, ma'am. Let's go, Kei-chan. We should leave this to the teachers now. You better promise. Until the very last moment, I glared at Sensei. Chi-sensei was feeling pressured by the likes of me. Idiot, this isn't a time to feel pressured. Now's the time when you give me a firm nod to reassure me. Even so, we've already left things in our hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray, huh? Bang. Me enter the door to the teacher's lounge, in front of my face. That's definitely an honest way to leave things off. Okay, then. No idea what to think about here. This is actually completely out of my hands of thinking it like this. I've only seen like one or two other stories that deal with this kind of narrative, and they both have multiple endings, so I have no idea how this story that's linear is gonna take it, honestly. Complete honesty. Either it gets nothing is exactly done, they can't prove it, and she's left there, and it gets worse then. Probably left to something irreversible happens, or something more, I guess something happier comes about, but then something else changes from there, because since this is psychological horror in any case, even if like either way, if like the uncle is taken care of, it's not gonna continue to be pretty. It's just not. It's just gonna be something bittersweet, like something, I guess, horrible, but happily horrible, I guess. Oh boy. I'm assuming this is more laws. Article 2. Definition of child abuse. Okay, the whole rest of the tips are going to be all around this. Just a whole educational thing. Yeah, let's see. The term child abuse means the following acts committed by a custodian. Okay, I wonder if it's just I'm wondering if this is a localization version of the laws of Japan's laws, or like literally just I guess reintroduction of American laws. I should probably look up what American laws definition of child abuse would be then. If it's like, I'm assuming, I was assuming that's just Japanese laws, just definition of it. Meaning a person who exercises parental authority A guardian of a minor or other person who is currently engaged in the custody of a child, hereinafter the same shall apply. Against a child, meaning a person who is under 18 years of age, hereinafter the same shall apply. 1. Assault a child in a manner that will cause or is likely to cause external injury in the body of a child. 2. Engage in indecency against a child or cause a child to engage in indecency. What is indecency in this case? 3. Substantially reduce the amount of food for the child or abandon and neglect the child for a long time period in a manner that may intervene with normal development of the child mentally or physically, otherwise materially fail to perform the duty of a custodian. Or 4. Speak or behave in a manner that would be significantly traumatic to the child. I experienced 2 of those. Article 3. Prohibition of child abuse. No person shall abuse a child. Law Number Act Number 82 of 2000. Authored by the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Clear, concise, but also legalese. Not to leave any loopholes in. Statistics from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Okay. It's probably just like how I guess the author just taking literally just taking the laws verbatim, just putting into the game. Year 19 blank. Principal abusers in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Okay. Alright then. Total 5,352. Mother by blood 2,943. 55%. Mother not by blood 203. 3.8%. Father by blood 1,445. 27%. Father not by blood 488, 9.1%. Year 19 blank. Instances by type of abuse in case reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total 5,352. Physical abuse 2,780, 51.9%. Neglect, abandonment of child 1,728, 32.3%. Psychological abuse 458, 8.6%. Forbidden from going to school 45, 1.4%. Oh boy. Sexual violence 311, 5.8%. Yeah, they kind of just narrow that, just something that'll down like it's not gonna end up well either way. Okay, let's hopefully it's not that last part. Oh my god. That feels like that almost feels like it's gonna be way too dark for this almost. That is just like a total jump in like how dark I thought this series would go. Oh gosh. I remember just openly thinking out loud of how dark this series would get, like to people who already played the entire thing. Like rhetorically, and they just they didn't say anything, but they were being smug about it. So I'm assuming this is where it gets dark, or at least maybe just this, or at least hopefully not dark in that sense, but just dark in possible implications. Oh boy. Okay. Well, either way, like they said the same day, so like the next chapter is probably gonna be the exact same day, or maybe like they only like Keiichi and them just wander, just like lurk around the house to see what happens. That, or they wait until the next day to see what happens. And either way, something's gonna happen on the festival day itself. Oh god, actually, no. Okay, no. I thought before, like chapter 2, like something different's gonna happen there. No, someone else is gonna go, either someone else is gonna be like a target for the curse on the festival day later on, chapters later, or literally a new one's gonna get added to the pile. I mean, which is obvious to say based on how every other chapter is, but not Keiichi, and I don't think anything of the whole LinkedIn curse of breaking the storehouse would be. Doubt it's that. Actually, thinking about it then, since the whether it's just Oishi not bringing up the first chapter of the Mio Takano, Mio Takano and Jiro Tomataki breaking the storehouse, does that mean they didn't decide to break in the storehouse chapter 1? If this is all planned out from the very beginning to end before the author put down pen to paper, so literally it just every single So, like, what happened in the past is all set in stone for, like, everything that happens for the events of these individual chapters installments. But, what the what-if scenarios will all be different. There's no butterfly effect for anything of that. I'm still harping on that fact just because I want to figure out something. Yeah, to see if there's any commonality, see if, like, anything that happens. But yeah, if it's really just, all that... Like, what was it? Since, like, it's definitely obvious that just from how Reina, like went into, I guess, her other side, the Rena side, if I'm gonna bring back that stupid internal joke I made. It was like, that I just fumbled. Then someone literally, was influencing her and Mia in some way outside of just, well, it's the whole, I guess, curse, demon, possession thing, or just some other person or force for some reason. But just another matter entirely of why then would they go and get Reina to do the busy work and all that, just like influence her in all that case. But then in Mion's case, like in the second installment, then focusing on her specifically, but leaving Reina behind then for some reason. It's just something to think about then. Either way, like, probably just maybe just by implications alone, just how that tip ended, it's gonna be dark, or just tackling the subject matter in maybe roundabout terms, which like, I swear to God, like, you gotta actually handle a concept with complete delicate care. Honestly, there's no other ways around it. If you don't, it just makes it look like a mockery of people who actually suffered that, or literally just romanticizing it, which is both ways absolutely fucking terrible. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't think the author's gonna go down that route though, because mostly from learning that he's a social worker and dealt with all this a long time, he has more experience with this. But also doesn't seem like that's the writing quality of, like, the prose and how other events go. Like, you can tell there's, like, you know, mental health going to it, whether like supernatural stuff is gonna be involved in it or not. Like, it's definitely gonna affect, like, you know, how the character's psyches work and all that. It's definitely gonna go to that. It's gonna put a lot of emphasis on that, whether or not. It's gonna be interesting either way, whether it's just a completely realistic scenario which gets everyone to immediately, like, do these terrible things one after another, or at least some supernatural forces compelling them to do terrible things and believe it's all under their own will. It's one of those two. It's just one of those two. But I guess we'll see how more morbid this gets for next time. So, hope fun time watch as I am playing this. Hope you see me next time, what time that may be. And y'all hope a fantastic day.